Hi, it's Jones and I'm watching Heartstopper Season 3, Episode 8, Apart. Say Together Again. I wish this was called Together Again, but I'm guessing this is going to be to do with Apart. Things are changing. They're going to be going off to uni. I mean, they have another year at school before they go off to uni, unless I've totally lost count of the year along the way. But yes. Now, one of the unis that Nick was looking at online was the University of Kent, and I thought, well, for this final reaction, whether that has ever comes up again or not, I need to wear this hoodie because it's only fitting. I think I actually wanted to send a few of my other reactions this season as well, so yeah, clearly I am able to see the future. But no, I love the University of Kent. If you're looking for a uni to go to, I had a great time there. I recommend it. Great city, let's go. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go. Also, we've covered so much time this year. No. Okay, I'm glad we're seeing them afterwards happy. But like, this started in the summer holidays before school and we're already around to like May time.
Can't believe it. Do not say it. No.
Why
Nick.
Why not this?
You don't mind I kept my shirt on, do you?
No.
Seriously, don't do that. Charlie.
Oh, it's the unis.
I'll help you study.
It's so, like, there are probably local unis that are good that he can go to. As long as they really are his top choices, because they can spend, like, yes, they can't do as much of this if they're long distance, but I think a part of him does want to go to a uni that's not close. That's the one that's appealing to him the most, right?
Hi.
That's not what he was wearing when he went out, is it?
My mum was a bit like this too. She was never very nice to me. She was controlling and sometimes...
Exactly what I suspected.
Maybe I have.
You're not like her.
He knows you love him.
But I can be quick to anger, and I also think that boyfriend sleepovers are a really big step emotionally.
Oh, boyfriend sleepovers have happened.
Much less worried.
I definitely do feel like Nick's desired university is not local. Words escape me for a moment there. Yes. You compromise with your mum's going well. Plus they're not having sleepovers. Now when he's confident enough to play in the band, whether he does it in the public or not.
Our band starts at 4 PM.
I'll be there. Don't worry. We'll drive up that morning.
Nick! Come on, we gotta get going.
Because it's okay if Nick goes to a uni that's far away.
Bye.
You can still talk to each other a lot. You'll visit each other.
Right, someone take my bag.
And then one of these days, like Charlie's a year younger, like he's academically a year below, right? So like, he'll go to uni too, and what if he wants to go? What if Nick stays local and then Charlie's like, hey, I want to go to Edinburgh University, which I don't think they're northern. So like, he'll be like, oh no, now I'm really far away. Like, they're both allowed to go wherever they want. Oh. They live even more locally.
What do you like about Kent? That's your top choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's his top choice because it's close to home. So they live even close. So they do live vaguely near me then. If they're only 15 minutes from Canterbury, that's not bad. I live in the same part of the world as them. That's cool. But yeah, Nick's top choice is Kent, which I'm repping today with this, but not because he actually wants to go there, but because it's close to Charlie, which, I mean, if he does go there, he'll have a great time. I loved it there. I'm still very close with my friends from there, but at the same time, I don't think that's where he wants to go, and so he really shouldn't go there.
Close to Charlie.
Well, the 50 minutes, do they live in Canterbury? Because, like, or they live in Canterbury or Whitstable or somewhere very close.
Charlie goes to uni the next year.
You need to make sure you're going because you want to.
I don't think I've ever liked a boy. Actually.
That's
But I really think
okay.
it. Sorry, that probably makes no sense.
It makes a lot of sense, sweetheart.
Who even am I?
You've got a lot of time to figure it out. Because she might be figuring out, it sounds like she's figuring out she's completely like a lesbian, but at the same time, she might have just not met a guy she liked yet. Like, figure it out. There's no, like, I mean, it does seem to me like she's figuring out she's a lesbian, but at the same time, you don't need to put a label on it if you're not ready.
I think I kind of hate it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
You don't have to come here. Idiots.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
You'll be fine, Charlie.
I'm proud
I'll
of
be there
him.
cheering you on.
Oh, Soppy. I just don't think I tell you enough how important you are to me.
Aww. Leeds was the one he was looking at like he really wanted to go to.
Maybe sports science or psychology. Haven't really decided yet.
He's letting his wings unfurl a little bit. Like, this was the uni that was calling to him. I could see it in the way he was looking at the online page. It's his future he could be looking at right now. I really want him to come here because it's where he wants to go.
Sounds like you've been to hear it, Charlie. Fortnightly it is.
Mhm.
Cool. Even though I love Nick, I need other people. My sister,
Yeah,
my parents when they're not
that's
being annoying.
really
my
good
friends,
and really healthy.
therapist.
I mean, yeah, Leeds is pretty far away from Kent, so... I know they live in a fictional place, but... yeah, that's about where I thought they lived, near Canterbury. Sweetie, that's not that bad. Like, it's not great, but just get the train to London. I mean, you can drive 4.5 hours. Get the train to London, get the train back to Truro. Like, you can do it, it'll be okay. Like, obviously I started this off being like, come to Kent, but don't go to a university you don't want to go to for somebody else, because it will make you feel sad and unhappy. And at the very least, talk to Charlie about it and talk about all of it. Talk it through with your mum. Talk about it, so like, because if he goes to Leeds and he's loving it, it's great, but he's constantly missing Charlie and worried about him and it's ruining his enjoyment, then like, okay, maybe that wasn't the right choice, but I don't think that would be the case. And he could do that drive. Like, yes, it's a long drive, but it's possible. And then, like, he can just hang out with Charlie online all the time if he needs to. Like, they could have nightly an hour where they hang out, or once a week or whatever if they both get busy. Like, you can still have a long distance relationship that works. And I think that's where we're heading, especially with Charlie talking to his therapist about how he needs people in his life that help him, but he doesn't just need Nick for that. He needs everybody. And so if Nick were to not physically be there, he'd still be okay. And then when Nick comes back, it would be perfect, you know? Because, I mean, as much as I despise it at first and cry my eyes out at 2 a.m. to my mum down the phone saying, go get me, please. Moving out for uni was amazing. Like, I lived an hour away from home, but I lived on campus. Mm-hmm.
Look, if I move away, it'll hurt Charlie.
Oh, Nick, you're a bit of a people pleaser.
Ow.
No, he needs
He
to hear
is.
this.
It's not just about him. I'm afraid of being away from him. I don't know who I am without him.
Maybe it's time to find out.
Exactly. I think it will be a really good thing for you to get a little bit of distance in that sense, to figure out who you are. Oh, I'm proud of you, sweetheart. You're doing so well. Is he gonna be brave?
I'm ready.
Oh, I'm so proud of him. And she's so proud of him. I think he and his mum are going to be stronger than ever now after that talk. You're a good brother.
Michael's looking for you.
I wish I was like you. You're hopeful. You try.
Have you not been doing anything but try to help me for the last year? You have so much love to give.
Yeah,
You don't have to give it all to me.
Well,
you're
I
going to
wanted
be
to.
just fine, Tori.
I'd do it all again.
I know, but
You don't need to.
I'm okay now, Tori. Yeah, I'll still have
I
bad
love
days,
this
but
relationship so much.
I'm okay.
Like 4:15.
It doesn't
Mr.
mean they
Band,
don't love you.
Charlie needs me there.
Charlie will be okay. Like, it's gonna be really sad if they're not there because I'll miss it, but sorry, I literally never, when I've been like puzzling over where they lived, I literally never had any idea that they would live so close to me. Like, I live near Maidstone. This is so funny to me.
Going at the speed limit.
You can do this, my darling. You are so loved from so many different places. See, he's okay. Like, he wants Nick here, and it would make him feel so good if Nick arrives. He doesn't need him here. He'll be okay. Nick can go to whatever uni he wants to, but that's not for another year. Till he'll be going. Look at him shining. I'm so happy seeing Charlie just shining and just living.
He's fine.
He's gonna be fine.
Looks abandoned.
Like, in the summers, you can still meet up and go to these sorts of events.
In Europe.
I need to find a job though, because my mum's not going to pay for international travel. I mean, she doesn't even pay for my bus fare to school, so yeah.
Take mine off, please.
He's just come
Sure.
so far, and I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
He just loves you so much. I never feel comfortable in sex scenes. I'm like, what do I do? They're having a private moment. I shouldn't be here. Okay, so we're getting another season. That's good. Because that was not a, like, ending. I didn't necessarily think we weren't getting another season, but you know when you suddenly start, like, overthinking, like, did I hear this was a final season? Is it a final season? The actors are starting to get more and more varied roles, so maybe they're not going to be as present as much. But that, you know, they didn't talk about the uni thing. There is another whole year of Nick being at school, 2 more years of Charlie being at school, so, like, there is a lot more time. I mean, we could follow them, I don't know. So, yes, I hope there's another season. I'd be looking forward to it if there is. Okay, so, the uni tour part of it made me sad because I literally didn't recognise a single part of the University of Kent campus, to the point where I'm like, did they even go to my uni? I mean, I did, though, like, it vaguely looked familiar, but I think it has been almost 10 years since I left, so yeah, I'm like, it's fine. But I do not think it's the right choice for Nick. It was the right choice for me. I do not think it's the right choice for Nick. I think Nick will flourish being far away from home. I think Nick will flourish and needs to, you know, he's confident enough to go. Like, his choice of potentially staying close to home wasn't to do with his own anxieties. It was a little bit to do with his own anxieties because he wanted to stay near Charlie. But he kind of needs that push to go. And, like, 15 minutes is very close, you know. Like, I always say I went close to home, but, like, I was an hour away and I lived on campus and then in Canterbury, but yes. I think Leeds, just the way he was even looking at that website, like, there's something about, even when you're terrified of going to unis, when you're, like, looking, and for me, it was like, I found the University of Kent and I was like, oh, this is everything I want. I like the course, I like the location, I like the campus, like, yes, I want this one. And, like, I applied to a school a uni that was technically, like, a better university, and I wasn't even disappointed when they rejected me because I was like, I haven't heard of the University of Kent yet, and then I got in. So, like, I feel like the way Nick was looking at both Leeds when he was looking online and then when he was walking around, it just, like, he saw the place he wanted to go, he saw the future that he wanted to be his, and I do believe he will go to Leeds. I believe he'll get in. I have no idea what the requirements are, but I also think he's got a little bit of time. I mean, you need to start applying early admission. I mean, not that there is such a thing as early admission, but, like, you can apply from, like, September, October onwards, and I think it's, like, January time January, February maybe, where you need to finish applying, at least back in my day. But I applied fairly early because I figured it out, because I knew what I wanted to do, because I didn't think about it for a year. And then in the UK, you get accepted. I mean, and this is just for anyone who's not British, unless they've changed it. You get accepted into conditional offers. You can get an unconditional offer if you're lucky into a university where they're like, I don't care what grade you get, you can come here. But normally you get conditional. Like I think I needed to get an ABB in my A levels. Actually, part of why I went to the University of Kent, one of the many reasons why I loved it was because if you got 3 A's, they gave you a scholarship, and I got 3 A's and I got a scholarship, and it was brilliant. But like, I already love the uni regardless. But you get a conditional offer of whatever it is, and then on results day, you like actually before I even went to school and picked up my results, I logged onto UCAS and saw that my conditional offer had changed into just accepted. But my point being, Nick has a little bit of time still to think things through, to figure out what course he wants to do. But also at the same time, like one of my cousins technically went to uni for 4 years because she did her first year and then she realized she didn't like the subject she was studying, and so she redid the first year, not because she'd failed, but because she wanted to do a different course. Also something the UK does is the first year of university doesn't count. Like you get a grade, and I think if you completely fail, they might make you retake the year or kick you out. I don't know, but the grade you get in first year does not count towards your overall degree. It's like a trial year in a way. It's a ease into, like, it's really nice in a way because you get used to like the life and the workload and like how you have to do it, and then your second and third years scores are what combine uni, and then that's it. It's only 3 years. But basically my point is that Nick has time to figure things out. Not super loads of time, but he does have time, and so does Tara. And for Tara, I think the best thing is she's figured out what she doesn't want. And if she's a bit overwhelmed with the academia of it all, I honestly think she might be suited to a gap year doing, even if she gets a job somewhere, like a gap year, even a gap couple of years. There is no one, like, yes, you kind of finish school, go to uni, but there is literally no reason why you have to do it straight away. I mean, someone I lived with in my first year had done a gap year, and yes, for his birthday, because he was a year older than us, we did buy him a walking stick together as a flat because he was old. But like one of my close friends from uni still is, technically speaking, I mean, she's like 6 months older than me, but she's like a year above because she did a gap year. Like, but there is no need. Someone in one of my classes was a mum in her 40s who decided she wanted to go to uni. Like, there is no need to go. And I think you can just get the government student loans as long as it's your first time doing uni or whatever. Or, you know, like your first degree or something like that. I don't know. But they have time. Tara has time. And, you know, when she said, like, I'm done with academics, that was really how I felt when I finished university. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I, like, as much as, like, getting a master's sounded interesting, I was like, I do not want to do any more academics. I'm done. So she can do whatever she wants, take whatever pace she needs. There is no rush to figure these things out. What I hope she does is looks at options for gap year stuff and just looks at other universities that aren't the top ones, because she might actually find a less acclaimed university that really speaks to her in some way. I think Elle's got a brilliant plan, a very Elle kind of plan. Nick seems to have found where he wants to go. These kids are going to be okay, and they're going to figure it out. And you don't even have to stick with the first uni you went to. So my other cousin went to university, and then she didn't like it. Like, she was too far away from home and she didn't like the course, and she dropped out partway through her first year and ended up going to one close to home and was really happy, and is now thriving, doesn't live anywhere near home, just doing her own thing. But like, there is no pressure, and I feel like, I know from when I was these kids' age, I felt so much pressure to like get it perfect, and it was entirely self-imposed pressure, but there really isn't, and they're gonna be fine. And I think as much as, you know, when Nick first, like, Charlie saw the different universities and he was like, oh, some of these are really far, and then Nick was like, oh yeah, but my top options are close, and then Charlie, oh yeah, good, your top options are close, because of course Charlie wants Nick to be safe. I mean, yes, of course he wants him to be close. Like, everyone selfishly wants the people they love to stay near them. Like, selfishly, when one of my best friends was like, oh, I'm going to move to like far, like 2-3 hours away from you, I was like, don't do it, don't go. But you're never actually going to say that because this is their life and they're happy. And so when Nick is saying, all my top choices are close, Charlie can say to himself, oh, they're his top choices, so it's okay when I express this. And I think when Nick says, I want to go to Leeds, Charlie's probably not going to be like thrilled about it, but I do think he will be okay. Partly because, like I've said, there is online, they can hang out whenever they want to, they can schedule every Thursday, we spend 2 hours chatting. They can do whatever they want to stay close. They can visit each other. in the holidays, Nick will come home. Like, you don't stay in a university accommodation over Christmas or anything. Like, Nick will be home. You get half terms as well, in which he can go home. Like, it it's not as big. Like, going to university is kind of one of the many reasons why I think it is a really important step to do if you're able to, is because it kind of gives you moving out and growing up, but with the safety net fully engaged, because you're still like a student. It's not like doing a 9 to 5 job or anything, and you still, as long as you have a good home life, you can go home to your parents and go home to your bed. Your childhood room is there. You've moved out, you're living on your own. Like in second and third year in UK, most of the time you're going to be renting a student accommodation in town somewhere. You're not going to be on campus anymore. But you get this kind of like safety net version of adulting. And it was the best 3 years of my life in a lot of ways. So I think it's really important for Nick to do that and to not just choose the uni that's 15 minutes away from home, because he won't be happy in the long run if he does that, even if it would be a really good uni that he was going to. And I think Charlie will be okay with it, in the sense that no one is going to be thrilled when they realise that the person they love is not going to be close anymore. But it's also not forever. It's not like Nick saying, well, I'm moving to New Zealand and you're not coming, bye. Like, it is for 3 years, and then, like they said, Charlie needs to... Now, one conversation they could have is, are there any universities that call out to Charlie? He could start looking a year earlier and figuring it out. But at the same time, I think when you're a teenager, at any age, but teenager especially, you should pick these things for yourself and not your partner. And Charlie is okay. Like he said to his therapist, it is not only Nick he's relying on. He has a whole load of people, friends who will still be there, friends who will have moved away, family. Obviously, we don't know what Tori's plans are for the next year, but it's just, he's gonna be fine even when Nick goes to Leeds. And I just hope whenever that conversation happens, it happens in a nice place, and that Nick doesn't kind of feel pressure to not apply there and to apply to the university where he wasn't as happy and he didn't love it. Like, he didn't hate it, but he really was feeling like, I have pressure to go here, and that is not what you want to happen in the slightest. Then in general, I just loved it. And I think the conversation with Imogen was really special, where she was kind of, she's figuring out who she is, who she likes, and that is a hard thing to do. And as a society, we are so kind of, figure it out, put a label on it right now, what are you? And you don't need to, there's no pressure. I love the conversation between Charlie and his mum. I think that was really important for them to connect, and for her to kind of open up a little bit about why she is the way she is, and then for him to kind of reassure her that he knows she's not, like, even when they fight, he knows she does care. And I do hope and think going forwards they will be in a healthier place from these kind of conversations. And to a degree, it's the kind of conversations you can't have when your kid is young. Like, it's as you start becoming a mid-teenager, late teenager, as you start becoming a young adult, that is when you start to understand your parents more and seeing them as the full person they are, not just as the parent they've always been. And I think it can, when you have a good parent and a good relationship, it's something really, really special. And so I hope they're going to be better, be happy from here on. I'm happy for Tori, she's found someone, whether they label it or not. She seems happy and I like it. It was a very good episode. And my favourite part of all, I think, other than Nick's face when he found the uni he wanted to go to, was seeing Charlie being brave and putting on a short t-shirt that didn't fully cover up his scars and left his arms on display, and then getting up on that stage, and he did it. Like, I was sort of thinking, oh, is he gonna have a moment where he's like, Nick's not here, I can't do it, and then figure out he can? But he didn't. He had a moment of like, oh, Nick's not here, and then he just got on stage and did it. And of course, when he saw Nick, he was really happy and like, yes, but he was good, he was fine already. And like he said to Nick, I was okay. He only needs therapy once a fortnight instead of once a week. Like, I'm just so proud of him and everything he's achieved this season. All of his personal growth. And I do believe that will continue into the next season, and will continue into him being okay with Nick not going to a local uni. Like, he'll be sad about it, but okay with it at the same time, because that is a normal way to live life. I'm just so proud of these kids and everything they've achieved in their lives. And it definitely, I'm sorry, I've talked a lot about myself, but a lot of these uni conversations really reminded me, like, triggered me of when I was that age and all the feelings I was feeling. I can still remember them so vividly, and everything worked out great in terms of uni. Then life went a little off the rails. But no, everything went great with terms of uni. So I just hope these kids continue to get all the happiness they deserve, because they deserve all of it. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of these reactions on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.